today he seemed to say that he isn't necessarily planning to follow the already established plan of fighting Vitaly Klitschko, then Mike Tyson, then Vladimir Klitschko. We're not sure what Lennox is going to do. We'll talk to him about it, we hope, at the end of the evening. With all that having been said, let's turn to the subject at hand. Evander Holyfield, with two-time heavyweight champion of the world and HBO World Championship boxing expert commentator George Foreman. George, fighters like Larry Holmes and Muhammad Ali held the heavyweight championship as boxer-punchers. Guys like Mike Tyson and Lennox Lewis will be remembered for a long time as great power punchers. What is Holyfield's legacy in the sport?
Oh, you gotta color him courageous. That I don't think there's been an athlete in any other sport as courageous as Evander Holyfield. He's going up against, no matter how big, tall, and better boxer he's faced him, and never offered any excuse. Courageous, the most courageous of all time.
Brave Evander Holyfield. That courage will be on display once again tonight. Also working with us as always, HBO boxing analyst Larry Merchant. Larry, Evander has said that he's going to continue campaigning in the heavyweight division. Regardless of whether he wins or loses tonight, does he risk tarnishing that great legacy that George has talked about?
Great fighters fight on, and then on some more, because it's what they love and do best, and because they can still get well paid for it. Brains will be addled, but the legacies and memories of those fighters in their primes, that can't be addled.
This is the man that Larry Merchant has called the greatest fighter of the last 15 years, Evander Holyfield.
I regard him as that, and I regard Lennox Lewis as the best heavyweight of his time.
All right. Well, for more on Evander Holyfield, his great contribution to boxing, his courage, his will, his determination to keep fighting, and what he expects to get out of it, we asked him to sit down with our Bob Costas. Here's what they had to say to each other.
No one in boxing exemplifies the virtues of heart, courage, and perseverance any more than Evander Holyfield. After 18 years of punishing ring wars, his fire and motivation for staying in the sport remain clear.
Evander, you're 40. It's a brutal game. What keeps you going?
My goal is to be the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, and that goal was set in 1992 when I lost against Red Bull. I've been there ever since 1992.
Holyfield became heavyweight champion in 1990 by beating Buster Douglas, the man who went toe-to-toe with every elite heavyweight of the past 2 decades.
The jaw turns things around again. Another left hook and the right.
George Foreman, something of a phenomenon at the time that you faced him. No matter how much you rocked this guy, he was going to stand in there till the final bell.
You know, I hit him with everything. One time I hit him with 18 unanswered punches. And he took it, and he was able to come back. He stole the people the idea. At 40 years old, you're still a human being. You still can fight if you want to. I won, but he won the punch.
Look at Holyfield. What a warrior. Reversing the tide of the battle. The champion now has Bo wobbling.
The trilogy with Riddick Bowe. Tremendous rivalry. 3 fights where everybody who showed up got their money's worth. He took 2 out of 3. That gnaw at you at all?
Red Bull is one of the bigger, better men that ever put the gloves on. He had good hand speed, good punching power, fight inside and out. So to have 3 battles with him and for him to win 2, they don't take anything away from him.
Lewis lands a right hand. Holyfield stunned against the ropes.
Lennox Lewis, disputed draw and a loss. What makes you think if you got in the ring with him again that you could handle him?
The first fight, they called it a draw because of the fact that they felt that he didn't do anything. And when they didn't go his way, he had like a baby, no interviews, throwing like everybody.
Along the way, Holyfield was also involved in one of the most bizarre and now infamous moments in all of sports.
You strike me as a very even-tempered guy. So even when Mike Tyson bit your ear twice in one fight, I mean, obviously you were upset at the time, but that doesn't seem to be a big issue with you anymore.
Well, it's not, because I know that I'm not perfect, and I know that I made mistakes. I realize that you have to forgive a person, because if you don't forgive them, then you won't be forgiven for what your shortcomings may be. If the person don't forgive you, then you don't have the opportunity to be the very best.
Of all the guys you fought through the years, who, if anybody, did you personally dislike?
Lennox Lewis, he irritated me because he called me a hypocrite. He said, you know, he had these kids out of wedlock, even the fact that I did. But, you know, I felt that he was attacking my character. And he told me some things about him, but I chose not to say anything because I'm not going to let him turn me into being like him because I don't care.
His fights with Lewis, Holyfield looked less than spectacular in 3 bouts with John Ruiz. And even after a more impressive showing against Asim Rahman 6 months ago, questions regarding his age and the safety factor are mounting.
At 40 years old, you're in magnificent shape, but you've been at this a long time. It takes a toll. Do you worry about your long-range health?
Well, you know, my health is good, and I believe that as long as I take this game seriously, as long as I believe I can become the undisputed heavyweight champion, then I'm doing it for the right reason. But once I take it for granted and say I'm so good that I can't get hurt, well, people get hurt all the time. It's just the fact that me being willing to pay the prices necessary to be the very best.
As he pursues that perhaps quixotic goal, he must get by Chris Bird, the slick lefty he refused to fight until Lennox Lewis vacated the title belt, now at stake tonight.
This fella kind of a confounding style. He's a southpaw. A lot of people think this guy fits as a matter of style.
And he's a very elusive fighter. So the best now is to not try to hit him hard. Try to bait him by hitting him with light punches and make him feel that, you know, hey, shoot, I don't hit no harder than you hit. Then sneak 2 or 3 hard shots on him and surprise him.
What happens if Chris Bird beats you? Are you done at that point?
I wouldn't be done. I mean, my goal is to be undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. You know, I've been in this situation a long time, and it's not like if this don't happen, they're done. I realized that, you know, I had to get back in line again. Hopefully, that I won't have to get in line.
But of course, you want to go on your own terms, whether it's as champion or yourself. You don't want someone to tell you to get out of line. There's no place in line for you anymore. There's no fights of consequence for you anymore.
If that was the case, they would have been told me to get out. Because when I fight, the ratings are so high and they know they're going to make the money. That's the reason why I'm on television today. If the people didn't tune in, I'm sure that they would have wrote me off, but they pay to see what they want to see, and I'm one of the individuals that they pay to see.
And we bring you back to ringside. George Foreman, let's quickly